to have been chosen as this year's White Coat ceremony speaker.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to make
some... I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to everyone who's joining us for this special day. Especially...
We're going to break this down, and then we're going to read the article. But now I'm just noticing it. Let's just see how many of the doctors or students, I should say students, getting up and leaving in protest because of the speaker's position on the big A. Let's just see how many of them are wearing face masks. Just one, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 right there. And we're not going to talk about hive mind. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. I can see one in the back there. One over there in the back as well. And it doesn't seem that they have to be wearing masks in the crowd. There's some people not wearing masks. This elderly gentleman right there. But let's just appreciate what we're witnessing in terms of ideological intolerance, childish inability to hear not that which you don't like, something totally potentially irrelevant from someone you don't like. And these people are supposed to become doctors. It's very loud. Jesus. We'll get to the story on this in a second.
Good afternoon. I'm quite honored to have been chosen as this year's White Coat ceremony speaker.
Getting up and leaving.
A warm welcome to everyone who's joining us for this special day. Especially
future doctors. Okay, a video can be taken out of context, people. Can't watch a 25-second video and then go nuts. I saw the video. I had to get some context. Let's just go to, apparently Fox News is no longer NewsGuard certified, according to Tim Pool, which is very interesting because I presume USA Today, that just got caught for fabricating or falsifying 23 stories, still has a rating of 100. University of Michigan. Here we go. University of Michigan medical students walkout of pro-life speaker's keynote address at White Coat ceremony. Video shows dozens of students and parents exiting auditorium as Dr. Kristen Collier approached podium. I'm just going to say one thing before I make sure. It's a joke. The thing about NewsGuard is just whether or not other people can rate you as not relying on certifiable news. Doesn't matter. The story doesn't matter. Audio's good. Everything's good. I haven't heard anybody complaining. Here's my one-liner. All of those students should be kicked out of school, or they should be they should be forced to take a class on maturity, being adults, and what the world has in store for them. I would seriously be very inclined to find a way to penalize those students, not in a punitive way, in a remedial way, because it is entirely not just unacceptable, not just juvenile, childish, intolerant. You want to know what the definition of bigotry is? Hold on. Let's just get bigotry. Definition: obstinate or unreasonable attachment to a belief, opinion, or faction, in particular prejudice against a person or people on the basis of their membership to a particular group. What else could this be described as students walking out, not because, as far as I know, the professor or whoever was given the keynote speech, it was not a speech on the issue. They were walking out because this teacher espouses certain beliefs that they find so morally objectionable that they rudely, in the middle of what does a keynote address even mean, get up and walk out. Let's hear this. Dozens of incoming University of Michigan medical students, they have no business being doctors. If they think that this is appropriate, the arrogant, juvenile, pompous children that they are, to get up and walk out, presumably the person who's speaking might teach them about the actual practice of medicine. If they think they have the moral authority as students, know-nothing pipsqueaks who are there to learn how to be doctors, they think at this point in their lives in which they've accomplished nothing except having gotten into medical school, they have the moral authority and audacity to get up and try to prove a point to someone who's going to teach them. They shouldn't be allowed to be doctors. Because, by the way, I couldn't rely on them not to do something very bad to a patient who they might find out espouses beliefs that they don't like. They get up and walk out of a keynote speaker because of her beliefs. How are they going to treat patients who actually espouse beliefs that they find morally reprehensible? Can't be trusted ever again. They can be trusted to be forced to learn the lessons of life. One line from the Amy Winehouse documentary that I'll always remember is that life can teach you a lot if you live long enough. I lost my story. Life can teach you a lot if you can live long enough. And these kids need to learn a little bit about what life is going to hold in store for them when they think that they have the right to do this. They have the right to do it. But the school also has a right to say, I no longer trust your judgment to actually treat people equally and impartially as a doctor administering medical aid. Okay. Dozens of yada. After dozens of incoming Michigan students walked out of a pro-life keynote speaker's address after a previous petition to get the speaker removed failed. They're there to learn medicine, nothing else. Shortly after Dr. Kristen Collier, a pro-life assistant professor of medicine at UMMS, took to stage Sunday to address the new students at their white coat ceremony. These kids think that the world is there to serve them. They think that they are kings and queens to be served by those who are there to teach them, because the teachers are in a subservient position. The teachers are there to teach them. They are the kings. They are the queens. They are the monarchy. And the actual professors, they're the peons. Several dozen people got up from their seats and headed for the auditorium doors. A video of the walkout amassed many likes. Okay, so you got to get the context. I want to acknowledge the deep wounds our community has suffered over the past several weeks, Collier started her speech, which would have been a veiled reference to the controversy surrounding the protests or the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling overturning Roe versus Wade. The deep wounds our community has suffered. Now I'm starting to get irritated with Dr. Collier, starting with an apology that she does not need to offer on a pretext that is an inaccurate pretext of what is going on. The deep wounds our community has suffered by virtue of the fact that the Supreme Court has said, states, it's up to you, figure it out on your own. And by the way, the apology, it worked really well. You saw the response it got from all the people. Oh, let's just keep going. I've made the point after this just for the story. We have a great deal of work to do for healing to occur, she continued. The National Review reported. And I hope that for this time, we can focus on what matters most, coming together to support our newly accepted students and their families with the goal of welcoming them into one of the greatest vocations that exist on this earth. The protesting group included students donning their medical white coats. Oh, yeah. They don't deserve to wear them yet. They are students. They know nothing. They're there to absorb information, not lecture other people and try to silence their professors. And some parents. The school said 168 new medical students attended the initiation ceremony and took the white coat pledge and the Hippocratic oath. Do no harm, but walk out on those who are supposed to teach you. The petition to remove Collier, who is also the director of the UMMS Program of Health, Spirituality, and Religion, was ultimately denied by the school's dean. Doctor, you know what? All of those students, you want to be principled students, and you want to show the world what's what. You should drop out of UMMS law school, medicine. You should drop out of the school. Go prove a point. Find another job. Find another school. You're going to be doctors. You're going to have to treat actual criminals. You're going to have to treat actual bad people. You're also going to have to treat people who believe things that you find offensive. And if you think that this is appropriate as to the level of respect and courtesy and above all else, what's the word I'm looking for? Humility to show to the people who are going to teach you how to do what you need to learn to do what you want to do. This is how you think it's appropriate to teach them. Find another job. Find another vocation. Outrageous.